All right, so guys, welcome to our Inspired series class that we are running for you every second Wednesday night of the month. So tonight's theme is on the go meals, and we've chosen quite a lot that get baked, but you know, what better than some baked dishes? So quite a few savory and then a couple of sweets as well. My name's Claire Wells. I'm the Business Development Manager for some of the New South Wales region and the ACT. And I started with Thermomix in about 2012 in TM 31 days. So almost seen my way through 4 models, which is really exciting. And I got into Thermomix to earn one. And I've stayed because I love the business, but I love the flexibility, being able to work, kind of choose my own hours, how I get to spend each day, the people I get to work with. And I learn every day how to make amazing food, how to make it healthy, or save money, you know, whatever it is that you guys get out of having your Thermomix. We get that amplified as consultants. So tonight you're going to meet 4 of our incredible consultants across New South Wales and the ACT, and each of them will share a little bit about why they do Thermomix as well. And we're going to talk to you about some amazing offers that are on the table at the moment. And I want you to have a think about whether earning a TM7 would be something you would consider. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So, Joy, let's start with you. What do you got for us tonight?
Great, thanks, Claire. I'm coming from Gungahlin in the ACT, and I did have spaghetti bolognese from the Thermomix to the dinner tonight, so I did pass that. A bit about myself. I've had a Thermomix for about 6 months, and I've been a consultant for about 2. So I first got the Thermomix because really I couldn't cook, and now I can cook an amazing spread of Indian feast and all sorts of stuff. And I find now that I can come home from work because I get exhausted, come home, I don't have to think, I just have to follow the screen on the Thermomix. So it works perfectly for me. And now I'm actually able to make food for my family as well, which is great. So tonight I'm going to do Vegemite scrolls, Vegemite and cheese scrolls. I've done these once before, and the idea I was doing them for my 6-year-old grandson. I grew up as an Aussie kid loving Vegemite, but he doesn't like Vegemite. So tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to be cutting it in half. I'm going to do half Vegemite and cheese and half Nutella, because I just know he's going to love that Nutella. So we're jumping in. I've got the dough basically ready to go. So here we are with the dough. Can you see that on the screen? All good? Yep, awesome. Okay, so what we've got to do first is just to pound down the dough so we can actually then undertake the cutting it up. So what I'll do is you can roll it out or use your hands, spread it out to about a big 20 by 25 centimeters rectangle. And what we'll do is then tonight what we'll do is just basically make this. Okay, so just trying to close up those holes. Okay, the other thing that I found when I'm doing this on the silicone mat is, because you can't use a knife, I've got the nice little scraper and mix shot, which makes it quite easy just to really indent into the roll. So what I'll be doing is doing it on the long side here. And basically spread that out a little more, so you want about 5 mil. Okay, so I'll just cut down the middle. This is not what the recipe says, but this will allow me to do half cheese and half Vegemite and half Nutella. So I've heated up the Vegemite, took about 10 seconds in the microwave. So I spread that out across here. Just did it quite thin, unless obviously somebody really loves it thick. I like Vegemite thin on my toast. I know what other people like. I used to make Vegemite, toasted cheese and Vegemite jaffles or toasted sandwiches, which I love. And this is just as quick to do this as it is to make a toasted sandwich, which is great. So I spread all of that out here. Then what I'm going to do on the other side is grab the Nutella and spread that one out.
You make your own Nutella, Joy?
I haven't as yet, but I've been looking at it, yes. It does look great. Probably a lot healthier than this Nutella as well. Have you done that, Claire? Or?
Look, I've seen it being done, but in all honesty, I haven't made it myself. I just try and avoid having Nutella in my home. But yes, if I had to have Nutella, I would absolutely be tempted to make it myself.
Yeah.
I'm sure lots of you guys out there have tried to make it yourself. Share in the chat if you have. We'd love to hear your results.
Okay, so I've put the Nutella on a little bit thicker than the Vegemite because obviously a bit sweeter, it's better. Okay, and then all we need to do then is we have the cheese. We've got 3 types of cheese. I've used Parmesan, cheddar and feta. So then we can just thickly put that across just the Vegemite one because I figure cheese and Nutella won't go well together. Although some people might like it. Okay, so that gets spread across quite thickly. And then basically all we're doing from there, if you were just doing one, you'd be just rolling it up as one big one. This time what I'll do is just roll these over like this. So that's going to make that scroll. Like so. So that's the Vegemite one. Quickly do the Nutella one. So it doesn't come off that easy, you can put flour, so I'll put a bit on there. Okay. That one's got a little bit loose there, but there we go. And then with the little spatula thing here, we can then basically cut it into, each of these would be about 6 pieces each, because it makes 12. So we can cut that into even parts like that. So you can see it's really, really easy. It just cuts through.
Hey, Joy, have you ever done the dental floss trick?
No, Megs did tell me about it. I haven't done it yet. I did use a cake slicer as well when you slice a cake.
Oh yeah.
That worked quite well. So basically we're up to then is then taking our tray and we can just nicely put those in. So I'll sort of group them in there. Bits of Nutella.
So I can see you've rolled it on the short edge, which makes a bigger, fatter scroll, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. And so if you wanted littler ones, you would just roll on the long edge?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, these make like big, pretty much like a bread roll. Yeah. And then what you're doing is just putting in here about 1 centimetre apart. So I'll just remember which ones are the cheese ones, so I can then just sprinkle a little bit of cheese on those as well. Just top it off and then to also remind me which are which.
Yeah, because you've chosen 2 very similar coloured scrolls.
Exactly.
Very different flavoured.
Yes, I was going to do like ham, mustard and cheese as well, because that would be another one. There were so many different varieties you could do, like even sun-dried tomato, whatever sort of liked in that regard you could do. So basically what you can see that is they're in the pan. I'll just put a little bit of extra cheese on the Vegemite ones, which are here. And essentially what I do now is I will leave that for about 15 minutes because I just do another bit of a rising, and then I can put that in the oven for about 25 minutes and we'll have scrolls ready to go.
Okay, great. All right, so what we might do is when you're ready to put them in the oven, you can just tap us on the shoulder and jump back on and show us what they look like. What do you reckon?
Yep, sounds good.
Amazing. Thank you, Joy. All right, Tina, you're up.
Okay. Right, you can see everything? Yeah, we're good. Okay, my name is Tina. I'm from Picton. I've been with Thermomix now coming on almost 10 years. I did say that I was going to start as a hobby, but I now make it work with my hairdressing business. So I balance both and I can juggle the two because I can't just let go of Thermomix. It's just my passion. So I love to cook. Having the Italian background, I guess that's probably where it's come from. So tonight I'm going to be making the vegetarian sausage rolls. Now, I personally, this is going to sound strange, and every Italian person out there is going to say, what? I don't eat red meat. So this is why this is one of my favourites, as well as the kids. When I first started making it for them when they were younger, they just didn't realise that there wasn't any meat in them. So they ate them. I was all happy. So This is this has become one of our favourite snacks, basically, that we make quite often. So tonight, we're going to be making them, and it's all I'll be doing is basically throwing all the ingredients, and then I'll roll them up and show you once they're cooked, obviously, once they're made. So we'll get started with, preheated the oven, line the baking tray. So we're going to put onion in. Oh, measuring cup. This is one thing I always miss. Hold on a sec.
Guess what? With the TM7, it doesn't have the same sort of measuring cup. So if you don't have it, it doesn't matter.
Lucky for the second one on the other side. Okay, so we're just going to chop up the onion. 3 seconds. So basically 3 seconds, just chopped up about 180 grams of onion quite nicely. We don't have the tears, we don't have all the funny eyes. It's good. Okay, now I'm going to pop in the dried oregano. Now, I like putting the oregano in. It's one of the staples that I have in my pantry, but with the dried herbs, of course, if you're not a fan of oregano, then you can change it up and change it to what you like. Okay. I'm going to be popping in the walnuts. You can put the pepita seeds in, but we like the walnuts, so they go straight in. Rolled oats. Now, I've got to admit, when I first saw the recipe, I was a little bit like, this is going to be different. But they are quite similar to the taste.
So you still chose to make it, Tina. What made you decide to have a go?
Because I wanted to see, because like I said, I don't eat meat. So, red meat, sorry. I eat chicken, I eat fish and things like that, but I don't eat red meat. So I needed to see, here we go. I needed to see how it tasted. So I don't eat sausage rolls. So my kids as little ones, always wanted them. So it was just my curiosity, basically. So when I made them, they could not believe there was no meat in them. So, it's just incredible, whether it's the mind playing on you or what, but the ingredients, when I put them all in together, I was shocked that it did give you that taste of a sausage roll. So, it was curiosity. Okay, so now we're going to pop in 3 eggs. Okay, the feta cheese is what I think it gives it that nice flavour, actually. So we've got feta, we've got tamari, or you can use soy sauce. Doesn't matter which one. Now, 50 grams of breadcrumbs. Now, these are my own. I make these breadcrumbs. What I basically do is, you know how kids don't like the tops and the bottoms of the bread? So I put them in, one of the bags and then fill it up, stick them in the freezer, fill them up till I get the whole bag full. Then I defrost them and then I whiz them up, break up the pieces, whiz them up and make my own breadcrumbs in literally 10 seconds. So they're just nice fresh breadcrumbs. Now we're going to pop the lid back on.
Tina, we've got a question. What type of feta cheese do you use?
We like it's not the Greek feta, it's the Swedish one. The soft, it's a little bit softer and creamier.
Yeah, awesome. Softer feta, so it's a bit more binds better with the.
It just gives that nicer texture, that cream. Like I said, it's got a creamier Danish. Is a Danish, that's the one. I get it from Aldi. It's really yummy, actually. So, but you can use the Greek. It depends on what you like. Greeks just has a little bit of a, how can I say, tangier taste. The Danish one has just a little bit more, just creamier texture to it. But that's what we like. Okay, so we mix that up. Okay, so that's basically all the ingredients. So it actually looks like porridge, but just give it a good mix. And then we just add that mixture to our puff pastry. So I'm going to push this back. Bring this forward. So it asks for 3 sheets of pastry. And I'm going to cut it into half. So what I tend to do, can you see me doing this? Yeah. I just fold it in half and then sort of just cut it down that middle.
Gently so you don't cut your thermomat.
No. I've got the paper underneath. My beloved mat. It's copped to hiding, but it's still going after 10 years. Okay. Okay, what have we got here? Okay, so what you then do is you place the mixture along the edge of one of the sides. Put a reasonable amount. I mean, you've got 3 sheets of pillow pastry to use up. But basically, you just put it together like you would if it was mince or anything like that, like as you would the meat. Okay. And then just roll it up. I'm going to peel off the blue paper. So you basically then cut it up into 4s. And then I'll pop them on I've got the rose gold, just the medium tray. Pop them on the tray.
I have a question for our audience. Does anyone have a good alternative for oats for the vegetarian sausage rolls?
Oats. Oh, I don't think there's another alternative because that's one of the main ingredients for it. I've never really used anything else for them other than the oats, because it's one of the staple of the ingredients.
Rebecca, you said you've used quinoa.
Oh yeah.
Would that be cooked quinoa? I'm guessing raw quinoa wouldn't work, or rolled maybe, or puffed. Cooked and cooled quinoa. Yeah, awesome.
You could probably give it a go. I've never actually thought of that, so that's a good tip there. So try that. I always say to everyone, just give it a go. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, start again.
Yeah, definitely.
So basically on the tray, you just, once you've cut them into 4s, a little bit of milk, and then sprinkle a bit of sesame seeds on them. And then they're ready to go basically in the oven for 20 minutes. So you cut them, milk,
well,
you just repeat that set. That's it.
Amazing. We're going to come back to you when they're cooked so we can see the end result.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Tina.
No worries.
Hello, Trish.
Hey, Claire.
Over to you.
How funny is this? All these yummy things to put in lunches. It's pretty exciting. So well, first up, I'm from Bega. I'm Diriganj land down here in Bega. And I've been a consultant for a year now. In fact, it's only just a year. So I joined on to Earn This Beauty and actually loved it. Like, I thought I was just coming on. I thought that we were going to be friends and then I'd be out of there. But it's been so fun to go around and cook with people and talk about food. And we've just had such a great year together. And then the next one happened because of the booster program. The booster problem. There you go. And I do think that maybe one of my love languages might be gifts, because every time a Thermomix would go out, something would arrive in the mail, which was always really exciting, kept me going along. So Tonight I'm doing the DIY pizza pockets. This has become one of our favorites. Like, I do this really regularly to pop into the kids' lunch boxes. I love having things ready in the morning just to go bang, bang, bang into the lunch boxes, which I'll show you. I've got the Thermomix bento boxes. I'll show you later because they're so fun. And these guys really do it for us. So we've done the pizza dough is all done. It's sitting here rising away. And we're just going to make the sauce that goes in it. Now, the thing that I love about this recipe especially is that in a minute, I'm going to put 150 grams of any veggies. So it means that whatever I've got going on in my garden or my fridge, not any, like there's a list, but I can go into my fridge or my garden and go, oh, I've got a heap of... See, I'm paying a lot of attention here, Claire. I'm like chatting away and adding all this oil, and you're looking at me going, what is she doing? And I go into my garden and I look at what I've got and then what I can put into this sort of hidden veg part of the pretty close of the sauce that's going to go into the pizza pockets. So I grew up with my mum cooking little mini pizzas and popping them in the freezer, and I get up for school and I just go and pop one into my lunchbox, and close enough. And so this is like an inside out pizza, which we just absolutely love. So this part we're up to, I can put in 150 grams of all sorts of veggies. So I went out to my garden today and I found this fellow. So he's going to be part of this adventure. We're going to whack a bit of him in there because he got forgotten all about.
You might need to make it a fair few batches to fit him in.
Yeah, I think there might be some zucchini soup in our future. So I put too much of him in because we don't want it to be all zucchini. My kids would be so cranky with me. And we're going to pop in some carrot as well. I get these yummy organic veggie boxes and some yummy carrot arrived today. So I love that I can just pop in whatever I've got in my fridge, and got in our garlic, and now it's going to just, do its thing like we love. Oof. What do you guys have in your fridges? Like, if you wanted to put hidden veg in, what would go into your veggie paste today? Is there anything in your fridge that's going, oh my gosh, I really need to get used up today?
Would you believe I've still got some Jerusalem artichokes left over from when I harvested them last year? They just last forever and ever. They are starting to shoot in my fridge, but like there's still some there. So I could potentially sneak some of that for some really great prebiotics.
I love that. So this is now just going to cook for 6 minutes. So I'll...
Awesome. What I might do while that sautés for 6 minutes, we're going to jump Dorena in. Hello, Dorena. I'm going to jump off for a little bit. You guys don't have to see me anymore.
Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
We can't hear you, Dorena.
Can't hear me. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yep, perfect. Awesome.
All right. Sorry about that.
All right.
You have to put up with, I'm just coming out of COVID, so I might be a bit cocky.
Oh, well, thank you for being here for us.
Yeah, my son got it night clubbing, and now the whole household is enjoying it. So hi, everybody. I'm Dorena, and I'm from Tuggeranong in Canberra. So this is the first online cooking demonstration that I've done before. I've been a consultant since June last year, and I've actually owned a Thermomix for a number of years now. My sister actually gifted me a TM31, and that was just the start of my journey when I realised how easy it made my life, and working full time, I was able to come home and have things ready in record time. It was just a life changer for me. And now I make a lot of things from scratch, a lot of homemade things, and I just love it, and I love learning all the new things. So tonight's recipe that I'm doing is high protein brownies. And I don't know if you've seen, but there's a new high protein cooking collection on Cookadoo. So that is where this is from. I was actually quite happy when Claire asked me to do this because my son does a lot of exercise, so the high protein worked well for him. All right. Okay. All right. I'll just start with the almonds. Now, I didn't have blanched almonds, but I did have almonds with their skins on. So what I did is I just soaked them in boiling water for a few minutes, then I just squeezed them out of their skin. So now I've got blanched almonds. I'll just throw those.
Yeah, I find I never bother blanching, but it definitely makes for a lighter result with whatever you're cooking.
I'm sort of half following the recipe and half not following it. I thought I'd better blanch it. So the next thing it calls for is a can of kidney beans. So I've drained them a little earlier and rinsed and drained those a little earlier.
Dorena, we can't really hear you when you're over at the Thermomix.
Okay, yep. So the next thing it calls for is 75 grams of apple sauce. Now I didn't have apple sauce, but I did have apples, so I just cooked a few apples in the microwave and pureed them in the Thermomix. Okay, now 50 grams of cocoa powder. Uh, 40 grams of protein powder, chocolate protein powder. Four eggs, which I cracked a little earlier, so I've got them all in one container. A teaspoon of natural vanilla essence. You're just using the lovely teaspoons from the mix shop. Very easy to find in the drawer in the beautiful rose gold. Just enough. Pinch of salt. Four tablespoons of coconut oil, which again I pre-measured earlier. This recipe is both gluten-free and dairy-free, so it's a good alternate option. Now, 65 grams of maple syrup. I made this last night and used all my maple syrup, and when I went to the shop this morning, I couldn't. It was all sold out. I think it must be Pancake Tuesday, either yesterday or week before. I couldn't get any. So what I thought I'd do is substitute it for honey. I don't think my family will be concerned about that.
I'd say that's a fabulous substitution. The other thing you could put in if you wanted to have a little less fructose is rice malt syrup. Won't be as sweet though, so just keep that in mind.
Well, the other thing to check if you when you're using the protein powder is if it's sweetened. That'll make a difference to the taste as well. Okay, then 50 grams of almond butter. I did buy this one, but again, you can, as we were talking earlier, you can make it in the Thermomix. It's just straight almonds, so very easy to make. I'm usually a peanut butter person. I didn't realise how nice almond butter was. Be my new favourite.
And the ABC butter on cookie dough as well, Dorena. Almonds, Brazil nuts, cashews. That's pretty amazing too.
Let's keep an eye on that. Okay, so 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Now, we're not gluten-free here, but I think you can get gluten-free versions of baking powder.
Yes, you can. Trish, what are you doing over there?
I'm just cruising along over here. I've just added, it's finished at 6 minutes cook time. So I've just popped in a tomato. I put in 2 because they have a little aromas. More garden produce adventures. Look at all of these amazing tomatoes that I've been slowly turning into passata and tomato sauce. And so they're just inspiring me. And I've just added tomato paste, and I just always freeze it. Like I have it in little portions in the freezer so that it's always ready to go. It doesn't go moldy on me. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm also getting them ready to be turned into the pizza pockets. So slowly rolling out my little dough balls and popping them on there.
Awesome. Thank you. Dorena, what's going on over your way?
So this just needed mixing for 15 seconds and it's now ready to go into the oven.
Great. And what are you using to put it into?
So I've got a rose gold square brownie tin from the mix shop. These are fantastic for portion control, and you don't have to get the knife out and cut the shape and cut the slab and accidentally get different size muffins. So this is terrific.
The thing I find great about those ones also is when you're storing them in a container, round ones don't store as well. Like these ones, you can sort of line them up on their side.
And in the freezer too.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for me. While we go on to the next person, I'm just going to fill up the muffin tin, and then I'm just going to sprinkle some pecan nuts on the top.
Excellent. And
pop
when
them in
they're
the oven
done,
for 10 minutes.
we'll get to see the end result. Hopefully we've got time to show you guys all the end results. We did try to time it, so let's see how we go. All right, Trish, tell us what you're doing.
I'm taking myself off mute. So what I've been up to over here is I've just finished off the hidden veg sauce that's going to go inside. So it just needs to cool for a few moments before I start putting it inside the pizza pockets. And so while it's cooling down over here, I'm just with my little dough balls, and I'm rolling them into little rounds so that they're ready for the filling. So that's what's happening over there. And I have actually started using a rolling pin for this. I used to pull them out, but then I'd have lots of leaky sauce, so I've gone to rolling pin.
It's easier.
Yeah.
Look at your tiny little rolling pin.
I know, isn't it cute?
Are you sure that's not like a one of those percussion instruments?
No, it was a gift like from a relative when the girls were like, I don't know, it's a Steiner rolling pin. It's really lovely to use, and it's great for these little things.
It does look great. We'll have to try and request that to be in our mix shop.
Yes, that would be pretty nice. Yeah, do you want me to explain anything else before you go on? Because I think I need to wait this little bit for the sauce so I don't.
Cool. Well, I can start my dish and then we can just come back. I'm going to keep you on, so feel free to butt in when you're ready.
Yeah. All right.
Liz, you've asked about high protein smoothie ideas. There are lots and lots and lots of smoothies out there. One of my favorites, I'm sure it's not overly healthy, but it's a quirky cooking one. It's from one of her newer ones. I think it's the Life Changing Food Cookbook. And it's a salted peanut butter caramel one, and it's amazing. Like it's got butter, it's got peanut butter, lots of peanut butter. It's got banana and whatever type of milk that you want to put in it. Yeah, it's pretty delish. but you probably wouldn't want to have too much of that one. All right, so what I'm going to show you guys today, and it's going to take you up close to my screen, just for those of you that maybe haven't seen the Thermomix up close much. This is obviously the Thermomix number 6, the black one. But we do have the black 7 coming out. So you guys are welcome to ask us some questions once we're finished with the cooking. So I'm doing the chocolate energy bars. That is a little bit bright. Just give me one sec, see if this makes a difference. You can see my screen. And so I've done all of the pre-steps. So if I go to these 3 little dots here, I can actually go to my recipe detail. And so what I've put into my trail mix, I've done 400, so it's quite a large trail mix. I've got almonds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, sultanas, coconut flakes, goji berries, macadamia nuts, apricots, and figs. And so I mixed all of that. It's got a couple of steps where you sort of roast the almonds and the seeds, and where you sort of chop up the fruit and then you mix it all together. This is how much it makes. So this is the large of our 3 stainless steel mixing bowls, which is really big. It's like 4.5 liters. And it goes up to the 2.5 liter mark. So it's quite a lot of trail mix. I'm only going to use 800 grams in this one. So you can actually almost do 1.5 batches of this one. The next step I did was I melted the cacao butter. So you can see that there, my melted cacao butter. It does it at 37 degrees for quite a while, like up to 15 minutes. So it does about an 8-minute and then a 6-minute. And this is the cacao butter. So that's what it looks like. My family are always tempted to eat these. They think they're white chocolate buttons, but they're not. They're pure cacao butter. And so they just taste like wax. But I love the smell. It's like really caramelized smell. They're delicious. They're not cheap though, but it's definitely worth it because making your own chocolate products is pretty fun and really healthy because chocolate is a highly ultra processed food. So if you can do it yourself, it's even better. Okay. All right. So I've pre-melted the cacao butter and that's just because it takes a while. And then my next step, so once I've done that, I move to the adding the cacao powder. So it says to add in, once I've done the melting, and guys, what you'll find is if it hasn't fully melted, just go for a little bit longer. Just be really patient with cacao butter. You can't rush the process. If I'm feeling really lazy, I'll turn it maybe up to like 50 degrees and I don't find that it makes a difference. But yeah, you want it a little bit thick so when you pour it, it's not too runny. All right, so I'm going to add 50 to 60 grams of raw cacao powder. You could use cocoa powder as well if you like, or just the less processed version in cacao. And 60 grams of honey. So depending on how sweet you want it, it does have quite a lot of fruit, dried fruit. So you might not want to have it too sweet. I'm just going to put 47 grams in. And then I've got some vanilla extract. Obviously you can make your own. You can make your own vanilla bean paste like this one. So there's like a $28, $30 one from Costco. So it's quite expensive, even though that's Costco. And then I'll show you my homemade vanilla essence in a sec. It's just up in the top cupboard. So vanilla extract, a little bit of salt. Doesn't really matter which one, but it's just 1/4 teaspoon. So not too much. Put my lid on. And from there, I just want to blend it up for a minute. So you won't hear me for a moment.
So while Claire's blending, what I'm up to here is I'm now putting I should turn this down a little bit. I'm putting out the sauces onto my little rounds and I've got, I did this cheese earlier. It's just mozzarella with a cheddar blend. So that's to go in. We're meant to use ham, but I'm doing bacon because that's what I had in my fridge and I've got a little bit of feta there. And I might even follow, oh, sorry, are you talking? I might even do one with a little bit of Nutella just to see what happens. All right, back to you, Claire.
Thank you. Thank you for filling the gap. All right, so here's my blitzed up cacao butter, cacao, vanilla, salt, and honey. And my next step is just to add in 800 grams of the trail mix. So I've got this, and I'm literally just going to spoon all that in randomly. So it's quite a lot. Okay, and that's about what I've got left. So I reckon I could do another half a batch with that. You could potentially make it up to be 1600 grams of fruit, so you've got a double batch, or you could convert the recipe on cookie dough to have less quantity, so it only makes 800 grams. You just have to work it out. All right, insert measuring cup and speed 2. We're going to give that a little bit of a mix. All right, so I've got a tray. This is a 20 by 30 centimeter. We don't have one this size in the mix shop. I've looked, but we do have a Lamington tin. It's just a bit smaller. So if you had 2 of those, you could potentially do a double batch. I'm just going to scrape my lid down. Guys, there's an amazing opportunity at the moment. If you don't have a TM6, you can come on and actually get a Thermomix, a TM6 with no upfront costs. So there's no deposit, anything like that. And then 3 sales pays it off in your first 2 months. If you don't sell the 3 in your first 2 months, you can choose to sort of cancel being a consultant and send it back. So it's a pretty amazing offer. Try before you buy. We know that you'll probably fall in love with it, so you'll want to keep going. And then the next step would be earning a TM7. So for any new consultants coming on board now, if you've already got your TM6, they go straight into earning your TM7. If you don't have a TM6, you can earn the 6 with 3 sales. And then 6 sales before the end of June earns you a free TM7. So you get paid commission on those sales. It's amazing. So I recommend anyone who's even just a little bit curious about being a consultant, come and find out more. Be one of the first to get a TM7 and learn all about it at the same time. It's going to be an exciting year for Thermomix in Australia. All right, so I'm just going to show you here what I'm doing. So I'm just tipping it all out. Making sure I scrape down all the sides. Finish that mostly later. And I'm just going to spread that onto my tray. And then I need to put that in the freezer. So I probably won't be able to show you the end result, but I'm definitely happy to take a photo and I can share that on the Canberra Thermomix's Facebook page. If it's ready in time before I send the email, I'll see if I can get that in to the ebook. All right. The other thing I like to do is just, I get my potato, what's this called? Potato masher, which I don't even use anymore other than for pressing down. I'm sure there's a device you can buy that does this. All right, and I just squash that down and that goes in the freezer. And voila, that will be my energy bar slice, chocolate energy bars. They last ages. They're super, super filling. You can imagine how much protein's in that one. Awesome. You guys can see what Trish is doing.
Yeah, so what I'm up to now is I'll pop my fillings in into each of the ones. And so the recipe has that you put the tomatoey vegetable paste that you make in it and then cut up ham and the cheese mix. But you can also just put whatever toppings are you excited about in the chat. What are your favorite pizza toppings? What do you reckon you guys could put into these, guys? So tonight we're going to have a bit of bacon instead of ham. And I'm going to try a bit of feta in a few, and I might even try one with some Nutella to follow on from Joy's idea, because I actually happen to have the homemade Nutella in my fridge. So I thought, oh, I'm going to give that a go and pop it into one of these and see what happens if you put Nutella in a pizza pocket. So it probably won't be ready tonight, but yeah, maybe I can share the link one to you, Claire, if you like, and we can see what happens.
Yeah, awesome. So good. This is my vanilla essence that I'm making. So it's just vodka and vanilla beans. And I'll need to sit that for at least 6 months. Honestly, it just takes so long and then it's gone in so quick a time. I feel like I need to make 2 liters of vodka, but then I have to buy lots of vanilla beans and they're so expensive. Anyway, it's fun and it's, you know, it's just a little experiment that sits up in the cupboard. All right, the last dish we're going to show you guys today is the tandoori chicken. So this is just something that I'm not going to show you in the wraps or anything like that, just how to make the basic tandoori chicken. I did have to pre-do a step. So what I did was I pre-cooked the chicken in the Varoma. I used a Varoma liner. You don't have to, but I just find it keeps it really clean, like it's so much. And I also find they're a bit more moist because it cooks in the juices as well, rather than sort of draining through. So I use that. You can get those in the mix shop. So that's steamed for about 10 minutes and then maybe another couple of minutes. And then it says to cool them down. So let me just move to my next recipe. All saved into my week. Who here does meal planning? If you have a TM6, you can do meal planning. If you're not sure how to do that sort of thing yet, absolutely talk to your consultant, get them to run a cookie do workshop, or jump onto one. We can definitely put one on. All right, so once the chicken's done and cooled, some of this recipe, I don't know if you guys can see that. So the tandoori chicken wraps, some of it is making a yogurt dressing. So I'm just going to skip that one. I'm going to skip all the way past the yogurt dressing and I'm going to go straight to this one. So this is just asking me to add coriander and mint. So now I'm going to make the sauce for my chicken. All right, so I've got some coriander there. It's only about 3 sprigs. Hopefully my kids like this. They don't like coriander. And then I've got some mint as well. 3 sprigs of coriander, 2 sprigs of fresh mint. That'll do. They don't really like mint either. Fussy. Chop those up. All right, so I'm going to add my reserved chicken. These are tenderloins and they've been salted and seasoned before cooking. So the good thing about tenderloins is they cook really quickly. You don't have to overcook them. They retain quite a beautiful moisture. So I'm just going to add these in, chilled chicken. And then 20 grams of tandoori paste. So you guys have all seen, well, actually may not all have seen. We have one of our demo menu options is the creamy coconut chicken curry. And we always bring our homemade tandoori paste. So you'll know the benefits of being able to make your own paste from scratch. You know, you can modify the ingredients, substitute, change it up. So this one, most consultants in Thermomix, most consultants will have, I don't have another spatula, will have tandoori paste in their fridge or freezer. All right, 40 grams of natural yogurt, so just a little bit there. You know, you can make your own yogurt as well, which is pretty fun. Put my lid on. And speed 5 to shred.
I love how it shreds. Like
and reverse though, just had to say that.
Yeah. back, not doing it with the forks. Wow.
So you guys can see that there's one tenderloin left. What I'm going to do, just snuck in the top, just going to tip that one out, because what you don't want to do is over mix it. You don't want to paste, you just want a nice shredded chicken. So get that out. And then I'm just going to do one little blitz with my one tenderloin. Okay, you won't be able to do that in the TMC. You won't be able to lift the little tiny lid off the top and have a look inside. So there you go, my one. All right. And so there you've got your tandoori chicken with herbs and tandoori and yogurt and deliciousness, and you can just eat it straight, or you can put it in wraps, you can follow the recipe, or you can put it on sandwiches, whatever you would like.
I'm just going to pop these in the oven, Claire. So all of these have got the pizza middle. These ones we're going to try with the homemade Nutella on the inside and see what happens.
Amazing. I don't reckon we're going to get time to see yours finish, Trish.
No, I don't think so. They're 10 minutes away.
That's okay. What we'll do is we will get a photo of yours and any that we can't show you guys tonight. So, okay, I think there's lots of consultants on tonight. Can someone please share our tandoori paste recipe in the chat? And tandoori, I think if you put 2 O's in, it should come up. But there's always a few, and I always go for the highest star rated. So highest ratings, the most people that have rated it with the highest stars. And if you are ever concerned about, you know, making sure you get the right recipes, when you do your filters, filter by 4 and 5-star recipes. So it will limit some potentially good recipes, but if you just don't know what you're looking for, it's the best way. And you can even just filter it to 5-star recipes. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kellia. Okay. Is there anything we needed to talk about, team? I'm going to put you all back on now that we haven't talked about yet.
Well, if you want, I can show a little bit of the first batch I made, Claire. Sausage
Yeah.
roll.
Amazing.
Yeah. Woo. So, yeah, they look exactly like a sausage roll. Tastes like a sausage roll. And they've got no meat.
So good. And
you can actually put them, if you can make them up, pre-made them, and then just put them in a airtight container and put them in the freezer. You can pull them out whenever you want, get them to room temperature and cook them, you know, in 20 minutes, they're done. So you can actually pre-make them prior as well.
yeah, so you would freeze them uncooked?
Uncooked, yeah, you can freeze them uncooked, so you can make, with that batch, I just pulled out another pastry sheet and made another lot. So you do get a fair amount out of them, but they just don't last. That's the problem.
No.
Go too quickly.
That's right. They do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these foods go quickly, but
Yeah.
all of them can be frozen. So
Yes.
every single dish we've shown you tonight, except you probably wouldn't freeze that one. But everything else can be frozen. And so that's, you know, portion size it, chop it up and freeze it in containers or whatever you like to use. So great for grab and go. And all of these foods are like super high protein, healthy, and made from scratch means it's always going to be better for you and more yummy and save you so much money. Like, how much do you pay for a scroll in a bakery?
You don't know.
$4 to $5.
$4 to $5. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
It's like unbelievable.
My
Actually,
scrolls are out of the oven now if you want to see them as well.
yes, come up and show us, Joy. You're going to have to come up nice and close.
Okay, I'll come on over.
And actually, we're all going to hold up our food to take a photo. This is going to be tricky, me taking a photo and
try not to drop the food.
Do you want me to take a photo? Because mine's in the oven. Do you want me to do it?
yeah, do you want to do that? Are you happy to?
I can do that. Here we go. Everybody, cheers with your amazing dish. All right, got it.
Beautiful. They look amazing, Joy.
They smell,
you know
that
what?
Nutella smells good.
And they don't even have to look like they just look beautiful and rustic.
Yeah, that's right. Homemade, so you want
Yeah,
them to.
no
Yeah.
perfection around here. And Dorena, yours are cooked.
Yeah, they smell beautiful. The house
Can
smells
you get one
baking.
out and just tear it in front of us so we can see inside it? We want to like immerse in the flavors and tastes and smells. Just have to visual. Does anyone ever like watch TV and they talk about smells and you think you can start to smell things around you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we want to create here.
Oh,
Amazing. So they've got the kidney beans. What are the other few healthy ingredients you got in there?
Kidney beans, coconut oil, the nuts.
And I can imagine they'll keep you really full.
Apple.
So, you know, if you just need that in between snack to on the go, just have something for morning tea or afternoon tea, tie you over till the next meal. I can imagine that they would definitely sustain you for a couple of hours. Yeah. And Tina's just going to eat all of hers
Yeah,
at once.
you know what? I just opened it up, and if you look into it, just looks like meat. It's incredible.
Right up, right like this. Everyone's right at the...
You see?
It does.
It does. Look, it's amazing. Like I said, my curiosity got the better of me, and I had to make them, and now it's all the time.
Never looking back. Yeah, and guys, try making your own puff pastry as well. Quick puff on Cookie Dough is really basic. It's easy. Yeah, have a go. If you've never made your own puff pastry, have a go. And if you're not sure, phone your consultant. That's what they're there for. And you know what? If they haven't tried it, they can phone a friend. We've got so many friends in Thermomix. We just like phone each other all the time and say, I don't know how to do this, and my customer's asking me. So that's the beauty of this community, is we don't know everything, and we've all just learned from each other, and we just continue to. So, all right, so that concludes our hour with you guys. Thank you so much for being here with us, and really big thank you to all of our presenters tonight. You guys did an amazing job, and thank you so much for sharing your story and your tips with us. And we'll share the recording with you guys if you want to have a replay or share it with your friends. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you.